Testing, testing, testing. Welcome to the Crypto Angel channel. Hopefully everyone's having a great, Saturday? Hopefully everyone's having a great Saturday. Let me get everything set up here on TikTok, and then we'll get started here momentarily. So right now for Bitcoin, what I'm looking for would be Bitcoin to continue higher, hold the 200-day moving average on the 4-hour time frame, and really break out. So we'll see what happens. Let me hit go live, and we're going to get started. So that's what I'd be looking at for Bitcoin right now. Let me just do a sound check for YouTube, and then we can go. Hold the 200-day frame. Sounds good. The sound looks good. If you guys are having a great day, make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe. It does help support the channel. And then, of course, if you hit the bell notification on YouTube, you get notified every time I post a video. I'm going to get the sound going, and then we're going to get started. Yeah, a little earlier than normal, but I thought I had to work tonight, and now that's been canceled. But I did say 3 p.m., so I wanted to stick to that. And we're going to look and see what's going on with the Fear and Greed Index, and then we're going to go over the Bookmap, and then we can kind of go from there. So on the Fear and Greed Index, we're currently sitting at 67 in greed. And I still needed the sound. I still want the music to be playing here a little bit. Okay, so 67, that's where we're at. Nothing new, nothing crazy. Let's go over to Bookmap. Right now, Bookmap does show that we have more liquidity to the upside at $120,000. And if you look at the weekly, you have a lot of liquidity at 125, some at 110. But really, the most short term is you have some at 118.6, some at 120. I see us going up to $120,000 sooner rather than later. But I really would like to see Bitcoin hold the 200-day moving average on the 4-hour time frame. I don't know why I can never say that properly. I am going to say that I am live, and then we can get going from there. If you guys want to join the Telegram, get notified whenever I post a video, or if you just have general questions, you can join that through my TikTok page. I do believe it's on there. But yeah, so let's look at this right now. So on the 4-hour time frame, Bitcoin is oversold. That's a good thing. That's a higher low. We're barely holding the 200-day moving average, but as of right now, we are holding it. You're slightly below the 3-hour, so I don't want us to lose a 4-hour. But I like where Bitcoin's at overall. The 4-hour time frame does need to bounce here for Bitcoin. And I see a bullish pattern here when I zoom down to the 1-hour time frame. If you can spot it, I'd be surprised because, well, I wouldn't be surprised. It'd be interesting. So right now, this is like a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder. Do you guys see that? That little dip there, the head, and then that right shoulder right there. That's an inverted head and shoulders. Those are bullish patterns. You could also say, in general, that this is a rounded bottom, and now you're making some kind of handle, and that's a cup and handle, both of which I can understand, both of which are bullish. So I see a head and shoulders inside of a cup and handle, and to me that says that it's likely that we bounce off the 4-hour 200-day moving average and Bitcoin gets a move to the upside. So I gotta say it right now. I would be calling along here for Bitcoin, not financial advice, but I would be calling along here for Bitcoin. I did try to take along earlier today. It was a very tight stop loss. I did get stopped out. I lost like $11. Who cares, right? It's a small account, but who cares? $11 won't kill me. And but I stood to gain if we hit $120,000 on that trade, like $150. So I was risking $11 to make 150 or 125 or something. So in general, it was a very good trade. It's okay. I lost. It was a very tight stop loss. When you have a very tight stop loss, you get stopped out. Quite a bit. So that's part of it. So here's my measurement. I see Bitcoin at least short term going to 118,500. And I just said that on Bookmap we have a lot of liquidity at that level. We have a lot of liquidity between 118.4 and 118.6. So I'm going to call it right now. I think in the next 24 hours before Sunday night, candle close, in the next 24 to 28 hours, I'm looking for $118,500 to be the target for Bitcoin. And really, not financial advice, but if you want to take this trade, your stop could be below 115.8. So that's actually another valid trade setup on Bitcoin. Now that I see it, now that I see what's going on, Bookmap is aligning with what I see on the charts. I could open a trade right now on that idea with the stop below 115.8. I take profit at 118.4, 118.5. If you want to be conservative, you could do a take profit at 118,500 or 400, 118.4, and the stop at 115.8. So that is kind of my trade setup. You have a head and shoulders pattern, inverted head and shoulders pattern inside of a rounded bottom, which is a cup and handle. So I see Bitcoin getting moved here to at least $118,400 in the next 24 to 30 hours at most 30 hours. You could even say at most 28 hours. So that's kind of what I see going on, and I will leave it at that. So that's my call. Let's jump down to the smaller time frames and see what's going on and see if we can get the bounce. The Bitcoin did lose the 50-minute 200. That's not great, but again, it's not that big of a deal on the smaller time frames. They're going to play games on the weekends. Maybe you could wait to open it long until you get back above the 15-minute. So here's what I'm going to do. I will open it long on Bitcoin when we break back above $116,800 because that means you're above the 4-hour 200-day moving average, and that means you're above the 50-minute 200-day moving average for Bitcoin. So I'm going to set an alert right now on Bitcoin to break back above 116.8. When that happens, I will look for a long entry on Bitcoin. So that's kind of my game plan. When you get back above the 50-minute 200 and the 4-hour 200-day moving average, I will enter a long on Bitcoin. So really, yeah, if you break back above 116.8, that would be where I would be looking for a trade. You could even say 116.900 to be really safe. I would say 116.9. If you get back above 116.9, I'll look for a long on Bitcoin. If you don't get back above there and we dump, then I don't have to worry about losing money. So if you get back above 116.9 and then you dump, then okay, I lose money. So be it. But that's power trading, right? So that's my trade setup. That's a valid trade setup you could take. Now it's basically a wait game right now for me at least. But I see a valid trade setup that could develop later tonight or even here in a few minutes. So that's my trade setup. That's my call. I would say that's medium term. Medium term in the next day or two, 30 hours or less. I say Bitcoin getting moved to 118.8. So, or 118.4, I should say. So that's my target. That's what's going on. If you guys have requests for altcoins, let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for the follow, Samar. Thank you for the like. Sam, Malik, thank you for joining the chat. I appreciate that. So yeah, that's my call for Bitcoin. I'm long right now on Yearn Finance. It's a very slow mover, but guess what? It's a very safe thing to trade. So I'm in this like swimwear. I don't know what that means, but that's what a lot of people say. So I'm in this this long setup right now. I got in last night, 56.18. Held it overnight, and I'm still in. And then when I woke up, we were like right here, and I was like, holy crap. You know, I ended this trade at 56.18. It was down about $10 when I went to bed. And then when I woke up, we were at like 57.70. Like, so right here, the top was 57.30. Maybe we were at 57.30. And then later in the day, we went to 57.70. No, this was 9 a.m. So no, I woke up at 57.80. You went down. I held the trade. And now we almost touched the high at 57.80 again. So I'm still in this long. I look at the 1 hour time frame. The 1 hour is kind of rolling over on the stock hour side, but I believe we will continue higher. We'll see. Anything can happen. Again, we're above the 15-minute 200-day moving average on Yearn Finance and the 4 hour, so that's why I'm long. That's my new strategy. If we're above both of those time frames on the 200-day moving average, I'll be in a long. So, yeah, and then I look at Yearn Finance compared to Bitcoin, and it's just booming to the upside. So again, another reason I'm long on Yearn Finance is because it's outperforming Bitcoin. You're above the 200-day moving average on the 4 hour time frame for Yearn Finance Bitcoin, which is this chart's just comparing Yearn Finance to the price of Bitcoin. So Bitcoin goes up 1%, and Yearn Finance goes up 1%. This chart would be zero. It would just go sideways all day. Hopefully that makes sense. But that's kind of what we got going on right now. Appreciate the likes on YouTube. So that's kind of my Bitcoin analysis. That's my Yearn Finance analysis. And if you guys have requests for altcoins, let me know. Otherwise, you know, that's what I wanted to go over so far. And yeah. So, with that being said, Ethereum's also, I just got an alert on my credit card thing because I use Gemini credit card reward. So, every time I spend money on my credit card, I get, 1 to 3% back in Bitcoin, or maybe it's 1 to 4% back. Either way, I digress. But Ethereum just is breaking out right now, too. So let me go find Ethereum. Ethereum, Bitcoin just booming. So this means Ethereum's well outperforming Bitcoin. That's why altcoins are really starting to run. Oh, I did want to talk about Bitcoin dominance as well. But I want to look at Ethereum first before we do anything else. I have a very small, but it is a long position open on Ethereum. I see resistance at this point on Ethereum at $4,300. Now, here's the thing on Ethereum. If you break $4,300, I see nothing stopping us from going back to the previous all-time highs, almost at $4,900. The previous all-time high on Ethereum was from November of 21. That's at 4,800. We'll call it $4,900. If you break $4,300, there's no resistance on Ethereum to speak of until basically 4,900. So I see Ethereum getting a move if you get back above 4,300 later today or tomorrow or something to about $4,900, $5,000 here sooner rather than later. And Ethereum at this point, this hit the measured move. It's going straight parabolic. So that's awesome, right? But Ethereum is just booming to the upside. I called this bottom, and at this point, this was around a bottom, and it just looks like Ethereum's going to continue to rally here to the upside. So Ethereum, congrats if you hold Ethereum. I don't hold it, but I trade it, and I've been in a long trade for probably a month, at least a month now on Ethereum, and I see Ethereum just continuing higher. If you break 4,300, it's going to go straight to 5,000. Not financial advice. I'm just telling you what I believe will happen on Ethereum. So that's definitely around a bottom, and we'll see what happens. Ethereum, this is a fun live stream because it's like the entire market's booming to the upside. Thank you, Yuish. I don't know how to say your name for the follow. I appreciate it. So yeah, that's kind of what I see going on for Ethereum is a continuation. So let's go to the smaller time frames on Ethereum. Ethereum right now just going up. Just for the second largest cryptocurrency, it's up almost 7% for the day. That's, in my opinion, that's straight parabolic. So you have this falling wedge that I did not see because I'm in a swing trade, so I don't look at the smaller time frames, but it is fun to look at them every now and then to see how your trade's going. And you hit that measured move of that, and Ethereum just continuing to rip above that. And again, $4,300, anything above that is probably going to go back to all-time highs around 48.77. So at this point, you can see that the smaller time frames are overbought. They probably need some kind of pullback. 1 hour time frame has some momentum. We'll see what happens. But I would watch Ethereum later today. It looks like it could continue up. So, I'm going to go back to Ethereum. If we break above this level right here, if we break back above, let me set an alert. If we break above $4,300, I want to be alerted because then I could see a smaller rip on the smaller time frame. So let me go back to the 1 minute time frame. And again, Ethereum breaking $4,300, I'll be alerted and we can look at it from there. I want to look at Bitcoin dominance next before I take any requests for altcoins. And then I want to look at OG, and then we can take requests for altcoins. I have a lot I want to go over today. So let me just look at this really quickly. So Tesla doing good. I hold Tesla. But Bitcoin dominance, anything below 60% on Bitcoin dominance usually means that altcoins are ripping or it's altcoin season. Because when this chart goes down, that means that altcoins, including Ethereum, are outperforming Bitcoin. So altcoin season usually happens anytime we are below 60%. And I'm seeing tons of altcoins go steadily up in a very safe manner, in my opinion. I believe altcoin season is pretty much here. I believe we are here. And I believe if you stay below 60%, we can see tons of momentum in the altcoin market as far as, anytime altcoin market is led by Ethereum ripping. When Ethereum rips, a lot of altcoins follow, but it's a good sign that when Ethereum rips and outperforms Bitcoin for weeks on end like it's doing right now, that means altcoin season is here. And then you look at Bitcoin dominance, you see it's below 60%. I would say altcoin season is here. If you guys have been waiting for it, I believe we are here on altcoin season. So we'll see what happens, but I believe altcoins are really about to go nuts. So we've already seen that a little bit if you've been watching the market. OG crypto has been a crazy one. It's been up in the last month. It's up 200%, right? So I see OG probably continuing here. I did try to trade it. I lost about $40, really $30-40 today, but I made $80 on it in the last 2 days. So at the end of the day, I'm still up a little bit. And I see a falling wedge here about to break out on OG crypto, at least back to 1220. That's the measure move, and I might take another long at this point because that looks pretty safe. Your long would be a stop loss below about $11. Now it's not a bad setup. The 5 minutes making a lower high. I'd probably like to see this. The half hour looks like it's about to rip. 1 hour is getting oversold again. I would be looking for a long here on OG crypto. Not financial advice, but I'd be looking for a long here for a move back to the upside out of this falling wedge on the smaller time frame. So OG looks like it might rip. Atom, I finally made my first purchase of Atom a few days ago. Atom's above the 4-hour 200. I believe Atom's about to go parabolic as well. I have Atom in the 4-hour time frame going at least to almost $6. So that's 20% move, and for Atom that's a pretty decent move. We'll see what happens. So a lot of altcoins look good to me for a continuation higher. If you guys have requests for altcoins, let me know in the comment section below. If you guys are enjoying the live stream, make sure you guys hit the like button. I do appreciate it. What else did I want to say? Yeah, that's my quick rundown of the entire market. I see a lot of altcoins. I see a lot of everything just going crazy. So I'm still in this long on Yearn Finance. It looks like you were trying to break 57. No, 57.84. If you break 57.84, again, I could see another mini outbreak or breakout, I should say, on Yearn Finance. But, we'll see what happens. Yearn Finance looks like it's about to be pretty bullish. And at this point, if you break 57.84, the next high volume node, which I don't look at much, but that's at 61.39. So Yearn Finance could go up like $300 in the next 24 hours. It would not surprise me at all. So I'm still long in this. I have half of a Yearn Finance in here, 0.53 of a Yearn Finance in here. So if it goes up $300, I'll make, 150, 160. So we'll see what happens. So far, I'm up about $70 in the trade, and we'll see what happens. So yeah, that's kind of my update. I'll be back live Monday night. Right now, I'm planning on going live at 9 p.m. Central Time on Monday. If that changes, I'll let you guys know in the Telegram group. But yeah, that's kind of what I see going on tonight and later today for Bitcoin. I see the entire market probably ripping further to the upside. So I don't think there's anything else I wanted to go over at this point in time. I'm just looking at fun scam coins. This market cap's 175,000. I bought it for a while and then I got out at 300,000 because it looked bad. It looks horrible right now. I'm still watching it for fun. I probably won't re-enter unless it does something crazy. But at this point, yeah, that's kind of what I want to go over. So the trade setup I'd be watching for right now, short term, would be about OG crypto. That could be the next valid trade setup. I gave you a valid trade setup on Bitcoin. If it gets back above 116.8, I said if Bitcoin gets back above 116.8 or 116.9, you could enter long with a stop below 115.8. So if you get back above 116.8 or 116.9 to be safe, I'd enter long with a stop at 115.8 and take profit at 118.4. And then I give you this trade setup on OG for a possible long. I think right now the Bitcoin is a safer long, but this is definitely a massive uptrend, so I think both are pretty safe. I'm just not sure that OG is ready to break out just yet, because it looks like it is struggling on the 15-minute time frame to break out. 10-minute looks like it might make a lower high. So I think the safer trade of the two is Bitcoin if it gives you the setup. If Bitcoin just dumps, then there will be no setup. If Bitcoin gets back to 116,900, then you have a valid trade setup. If it just dumps, then there's no setup on Bitcoin either. So usually I don't wait for it to get above a certain price, but I think in this situation it does make sense. So that's kind of why I see for both OG, those are two valid trade setups. Although, yeah, OG right now, it doesn't look like it's a buy just yet. The 5 minutes rolling over, that's a lower high. So OG, I see a possible trade setup, but you need the smaller time frames to align. And so far, OG I think both Bitcoin and OG are in waiting positions. I see a possible trade setup if things happen, but right now, OG looks like it's about to make a lower low now, below $11. So I would not be in a long on OG. I would not be in a long right now on Bitcoin. But I see possible setups if you get a small move up in price. Thank you, Joette, for the follow. Appreciate it. I do appreciate that. Thank you. So yeah, that's kind of what I see. That's what I see going on. So let me go back to YouTube, see if there's any requests. I don't see any requests. We are live on YouTube, by the way, just letting you guys know. So if you guys want to see the entire screen, head over to my YouTube channel, CryptoInjury333. But that's just a little tip of advice. Now, I don't know, man. The 1 minute is... 1 minute looks interesting on OG. You gotta get above the 200. But in general, OG still looks pretty decent to be on the higher time frames. Like, the 1 hour looks very bullish. So, it would... we'll see. I think OG's probably later today, it is going to break out again. But I could be wrong. If Bitcoin dumps, that's unlikely. So that's my market update. If you guys have requests, let me know. Otherwise, I'll be back live Monday night. I appreciate you guys for being here. And I don't have anything else to say unless you guys have some requests. I think Ethereum could go parabolic this weekend. I think OG could continue to go parabolic. I think Yearn Finance will start to go up. I don't know about parabolic, but it's probably going to go up quite a bit this weekend. Assuming Bitcoin can go stable or go slightly up. So, yeah, guys, that's going to conclude this live stream. I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening. Watch some football. And I'll see you guys on Monday night. I think Monday night will be an awesome live stream as well. But, yeah. So now on the smaller time frames for OG, I see a flag. At this point, I would say OG is probably going to pump here. That's a bull flag on the 3 minute. Actually, it's a bull pennant if you want to be honest about it. If you want to be completely transparent, it's a bull pennant. And that looks like it could just rip to 1150. And OG looks likely for a pump right now. So I'm calling the long for OG right now for a long. When I get out of this live stream, I will enter a long on OG. I could technically do it right now, but I don't know. I have a fun trading account. It's only worth like $300, so I'm not that worried. Um, not that worried what happens. I don't want to lose my money though, so I gotta be safe with it. So we gotta make sure this makes sense. So if we enter long here on OG crypto, I have to figure out where the stop loss would be, and I still think the safest place for a stop loss is about $11.03. To me, that looks like the safest place for a long. So let's go look at this right now and kind of think about what's happening. So you can see on my Wi-Fi, I'm up $80 on Ondo, which I've been in for a long time. I got in at 93 cents, and my stop loss is at break even, and it's just continuing to slowly grind up. That's a long-term trade. I don't make much if it hits. I think my most I'll make if it gets to like $1 something, $1.50, I'll make it $50 on it. So it's a long-term swing trade that's low risk. It tells you the risk here as well, I think. Does it? It says I only used $1 in the setup. Is that accurate? That's all I used? No wonder it's not worth much money. Okay. Well, I meant to use more than that. That's probably why it's not. Okay. Either way, let's go look at, let's enter this, I'm going to enter this trade on OG right now. And I'm going to do, why does it not tell me my liquidation? Well, we're going to enter this right now and see what a liquidation would be. So our liquidation would be $3.25. So we can add way more to that trade. I'm willing to do a little more risk than that. Our liquidation now, using $51, our liquidation now would be what? I don't see it. $7. I think we can still do more than that, but I probably want to do much more. $8. How much have we used? So in your finance trade, I used $148. In this trade, I'm using 70. Now it's 94. Our liquidation at this point is $9. I think that's pretty safe. And again, I told you my stop loss on this is going to be $11.03. I'm going to lose $16. To me, that's like nothing. And then my take profit is, what's my I don't really have a take profit. My take profit would be 11. No, I would like to do the take profit higher. I would like to do 12.20 as a take profit. Make $81 to risk 16. To me, that's a safe setup, and we'll see what happens. So, yeah, that's the trade setup. I could get rocked and wrecked, but you know, if I lose $16, I'll survive. So that's my update. We'll see what happens, and that's all I got, guys. I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening. I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers and adios. The trend is your friend till the end. Most of these coins, especially in Bitcoin, the trend is you know, you're above the 4-hour, 200-day moving average and the 15-minute on most of these assets that I'm trading long on. So the trend is your friend until the end. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great night and enjoy some football later today because I know there's football on right now in the NFL. Adios.